In this tutorial, we shall learn about standard error and input streams associated with a command project like FFmpeg. We shall study about standard error and input stream reading and writing by issuing commands to a third-party command software like FFmpeg. FFmpeg we downloaded in the last tutorial, but now we shall learn how to issue commands to this software and how to obtain data from this software. This software is available in the form of an exe file, and there is a lot of documentation provided on how to issue commands and how to obtain results. But FFmpeg is an open source software. This means that it can be accessed from C++ also, from Java also, from Python, everything. And right now our objective is to learn how to make a communication with FFmpeg using standard error and input streams in the context of C# language. So this is the point of this tutorial, and let's now go through all the steps. First of all, we shall open the FFmpeg once again. This is the documentation page of FFmpeg, and you can see that this is a single page consisting of so much things. For example, let us pick a random FFmpeg IE input. So this is some technique they are saying. You can issue command like this, and this is quite an extensive documentation, and they have given a lot of help on this page. You can go through this page, and for the purposes of this project, I have read this documentation, and now I will see you through how to extract audio. So I'll close it right now, and this is the Visual Studio project completed in this tutorial. You should obtain this from the downloads and make a build first of all, so that I can help you out. And this is almost built, and now once it is built, let us come to the directory where the executable is formed. The executable has been formed in this directory debug net 7.0. This is you can see somewhere here. This is the audio extractor app exe. We are not concerned about this at the moment, but what I am trying to say is that your ffmpeg.exe file that you obtained in the previous tutorial, this should be placed in the output directory adjacent to the executable file, and also place any test video adjacent to FFmpeg. So this output folder has three files: this video, this FFmpeg executable, and this executable for the application. And let us now see how to run a direct command on FFmpeg. For this, I will right click somewhere, and you see I will hold this control key on my keyboard. I think shift. I will hold the shift key down and open PowerShell window here. See, I have clicked somewhere in the folder and held the shift key with one of my fingers, kept it down and right clicked here and open PowerShell window here. And this is just for testing, so I have opened a PowerShell window that you can see, and now I will issue some command to FFmpeg, a direct command. I will issue a direct command. For this, the technique is to write ./ffmpeg.exe. FFmpeg, you should be careful in the spellings, followed by a space. Documentation says -i for the name of the input file. My file is myvideo.mkv. This is the file I placed, and for some format, I will just simply say that my format is no format, null, and my output is also null. So I have obtained this command from the documentation. So this is the input file, put it in double quotes if you have space here, but since there is no space, everything is continuous, I don't need a double quote. And then format is null and a hyphen. This hyphen says that we are not interested in any output file. We simply want to see the metadata of this file, about the duration, about the codec, etc. So this is a simple objective. This is what we want to do, and once you type this command, hit enter and allow it to complete. Let us now have a look at the various outputs. So this first is about the FFmpeg itself, copyright and all, and after this he says, I am slowly scrolling up, he says that input 0 is Matroska WebM from MyVideo, metadata, minor version, compatible brands, major brand, coder, duration. So this is the line that I would like to extract. The duration of the video and the bitrate maybe I'll want to show to the user. The stream 0 is on video, stream 1 is on audio. So I would like to extract audio, codec, etc. for showing to the user. And in the final tutorials I will finally extract this audio out. But right now this is some metadata that you can see, and our objective is now to read this metadata, and there is also press Q to stop. So if we will want to kill this project very soon, so that it doesn't go beyond reading the input file. So this is input that we will give, and this is the output that we receive. So this is the main objective of this tutorial. Remember that I used PowerShell to run directly, but now I will do all this story through C# program, and this will be the starting point of this whole project also. I'll now come back to the C# part. So I'll close it off. I'll call a quit here. And I don't need this also. I'll close it. My files are already there. And now my starting point is now my whole project that you will obtain from the downloads. Just for the sake of review, this is what we did the last time. We had audio extractor, data available, event args, and the program.cs file. And right now we are interested in audio extractor because we will now be obtaining and displaying the metadata that we saw on PowerShell. This is the only objective in this tutorial. Extraction will be done in the next tutorial. So let's review. We have our this class, logger, input file name. These all come from the program.cs file. And just for a review, this is the name of the file I passed to the constructor. You should go through the initial tutorial where I have discussed all this. So scrolling down, this is the event handler, you remember, and now this was the run file, and here we logged the last time that we are starting extraction. If input file doesn't exist, we logged an error, and then we showed file not found. This we have already done, and now we have done the same thing for ffmpeg.exe, so that if you forget typing or placing this file in the output directory, then you see an error message and a log and error message. This will help you debug the program. And after this is the point of today's tutorial. Here you can see that we start a process of a name metadata extract. You could have any identifier is equal to new process. This accepts a start info object, and start info object requires the name of the file on which you are going to issue commands. Remember, this is the executable we obtained. Similarly, there are other executables on the internet like YouTube Downloader. This is also one of the open source projects that allows you to download YouTube videos. So whenever you are doing that, you can type the name here, and after this use shell execute should be kept false. Create no window. We don't want the window created by FFmpeg. we will use our own window, the window of this program.cs file, and arguments. If you remember, I wrote there -i my video f null. So this is the argument part. This argument part contains all the arguments. This FFmpeg is here and the argument part is here. Then redirect standard error, redirect standard input. Somehow FFmpeg, it gives you metadata on its standard error. So we are saying redirect standard error. This means the standard error will be commanded through our software, the current program.cs, this audio extractor file, and redirect standard input for that queue to quit immediately. So here we start, our next step is to start the process, and then metadata extraction process.standard. Once the process is started, it will start giving out the lines. And we write here standard input dot write line queue. This means that this queue will now go into the window and kill the process after the first few lines. So this is what is, you can think of it as console.readline or cout cin story. This is the input that you are giving to FFmpeg. And next we have to read the data coming from standard error. We redirected it, and we say while metadata extraction process dot standard error dot readline dot trim is a string line. So we obtain the line in this variable line. This is, you can see, is C#11 pattern matching. You will have to go through this chapter of my tutorial of my course on C#. So here you will get that in line, and we'll trim that line once again, and console.writeline line. So whatever is coming from the FFmpeg is now being simply displayed as a part of this tutorial. This was our target. So let us now run it to see whether we are getting this story. Start without or start debugging, whatever you want to do. So we are waiting for the process to complete, and the same thing has been dumped to you. The tray starting extraction reading metadata. Now this was part of our log, and the same story that you saw on PowerShell, that same story has been rendered to you. I might have scrolled it too fast. So this you can see, and here in our next tutorial we shall be concerned with this duration, we shall be concerned with this line audio, and this will be happening in our next tutorial. I will close it right now. Thank you.